Hey guys, we're going to start going over the practice for Learning Target 1, so just follow along with me, and then I'll work here with you really quickly. So I hope you went through these on your own. If not, pause the video, go through a few on your own, and then we'll come back to it. So let's look here. What we're doing is we're counting molecules, we're looking at ratios, and we're also looking at the atom count and the total number of atoms that you have in your molecule here. So the number of molecules, remember, comes from this coefficient out front. In this case, for sodium sulfide, we don't have a coefficient out front. So my number of molecules here is 1. All right, so then the set ratio is going to come from the bottom. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio here. 2 to 1. 2 sodiums to 1 sulfur. Okay, so when I do my atom count, when I list this out, I'm actually going to count up how many atoms I have, and I have 2 sodium atoms plus I have 1 sulfur atom, and so that's going to give me a total of 3 when I add those things together. Okay, so that's what we're looking for here, just looking at what's going on within these notations about chemical equations or chemical compounds. So when I look here, my number of molecules, remember, comes from my coefficient. So my coefficient is 3, so my number of molecules is 3. And this is magnesium sulfide. So my ratio is 1 to 1, and how I know that is because I look at the subscripts. So magnesium is a 1, and sulfur is also a 1. So 1 to 1. All right, so my atom count is I actually have 3 magnesiums, and you think, wait a minute, what happened? Well, the thing is remember, you have 3 molecules. So that 3, let me refocus this a little bit. There we go, a little more focused. All right, so this 3 goes to the magnesium, right? So the 3 goes to the magnesium and the 3 goes to the sulfur. So it is multiplied by the subscript that's there. So 3 times 1 is 3 magnesium plus 3 sulfur. 3 times 1 is sulfur. 3 times 1 is 3. So my total atoms here are 6. All right, let's look at the next one, iron chloride. I have 2 molecules of iron chloride. It is a 1 to 2 ratio, looking at subscripts. Then I know I've got 2 times 1 for iron plus 2 times 2, which is going to give me 4 chlorines. So I have 6 atoms altogether. All right, I have 1 molecule. This 1 comes from the front. Then this is a 2 to 1 ratio, 2 potassium to 1 oxygen. I have 2 potassium, I have 1 oxygen, I have 3 total atoms. Copper iodide, I have 3 molecules because that's my coefficient. This is a 1 to 2 ratio. You always put the first one first, so 1 to 2, 1 copper to 2 iodine. I have copper and I have iodine. So when I look at that, 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, so I end up with 9 total atoms. All right, potassium iodide, I have 4 molecules. I have a 1 to 1 ratio. I have potassium plus I have iodine. I have 4 and 4, which added together is going to give me 8. I have 2 calcium sulfides, so I have a 1 to 1 ratio again coming from the subscripts. So I have 2 calcium plus 2 sulfur, which is going to give me 4 atoms. All right, let's look at this one. This one's a little bit trickier because we do have 3. We do have some parentheses going on. So let's kind of break this down. So I only have 1 molecule, okay? So it makes it a little bit easier. When I look at these things in parentheses, this is called a polyatomic ion. We don't have to memorize all these, but there's a list, and we'll work with them some. But anyway, this is a polyatomic ion, so I'm going to use this number here because these polyatomic means it's always grouped together. It's a phosphate. So I'm going to be looking at those. So this is a 3 to 2 ratio. And then I need to count up my atoms. So I have magnesium plus I have phosphorus plus I have oxygen. And I just need to know kind of how many I have of each. So since I have a 1 here, everything goes through and it's multiplied by 1. So 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, this one comes in here, so you're going to take this outside first. That's really going to be 2 phosphorus and then 2 times 4, which is going to give me 8 oxygen. Then I have to multiply by this number back through, and since it's just 1, 2 phosphorus and 8 oxygen. So I'm going to end up with 13 total atoms. All right, when I look at the next one, I've got a big 2 out front, so I have 2 molecules here. Again, this in parentheses is a chlorate. It's a polyatomic ion, so I'm just going to act as if that were kind of one element altogether. So I have a 1 aluminum bonded to 1, or actually 3 chlorate, so I have a 1:3 ratio. I have aluminum, plus I have chlorine, plus I have oxygen, and this might have got a little tricky, so let's walk through. 2 goes to your aluminum, and that's a little 1 there, okay? So that is actually 2 aluminum. Now, 2 goes to your chlorine, times your 3 really goes there. So 2 times 3 is 6, okay? And then I look here, 2 times my oxygen, which 3 and 3 are multiplied together. 3 and 3 is 9, and 9 times 2 is 18. I would have 18 oxygens there. So that's going to give me a total of 1826 atoms. Now this one may be a little tricky, and it got a little tricky in there. So what I want to show you is, if I were to draw this out just really quickly, I'm going to move this right here so I can show it to you drawn out. My notebook paper. I have an aluminum bonded to a chlorate, and that's chlorine and 3 oxygens. All right, and what that is, there's actually 3 of them, 3 chlorates. So you see, this is one big molecule. That's 1 aluminum chlorate. Now, if I have 2 of those, and these are just their symbols, then I can count up and get what I've got. So I've got 2 aluminums. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chlorines, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 oxygens, which is exactly what we came up with here using the math. All right, let's move on to the next one. I have 1, and again, this is a polyatomic ion, so we're looking at the 1 for the iron, and this is a nitrite, so this is a 1:2 ratio. And I have iron plus nitrogen plus oxygen. I don't have any subscript or coefficient, so there's just 1 iron. Now the 2 comes in and applies to the nitrogen, so that is actually going to give me 2 nitrogen, and 2 times 3, which is going to give me 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9 is my total number of atoms there. All right, so if you're good with that, if you want to look on to the second practice, I'm going to move on to that. If not, that's fine too. I'm going to go a little bit faster on the second practice. All right, so here we go. Second practice, number of molecules. You can easily just go down and do the molecules by looking at your coefficients in front. Okay, I filled those in by looking there. I can look at my set ratios here. I'm just looking at my subscripts, so that's a 1:2, 2:1, 2:3, 2:1. Remember, we're going to look at this, which is a 1:3. 1, looking at the polyatomic, 1:2. 2:2, we're going to assume that's 1, right? So 2:1. This is a 1:2. This is a 1:1. And this is also a 1:1 ratio. Okay, so let's start counting our atoms and looking at our total. So in this case, I have magnesium, I have 2 magnesium, and I have 4 chlorine, which is going to give me 6. All right, I have 2 lithium plus 1 oxygen, which is going to give me 3. In this case, I have 6 aluminum plus 9 oxygen, which is going to give me 15. In this case, I have 2 times 2, which is 4 potassium, plus 2 oxygen, which is going to give me 6. This one's kind of tricky, so remember we're taking this all the way through. So 2 goes to the barium, so I have 2 barium, plus 2 goes to the nitrogen, and the 3 comes underneath. So 2 times 3 is going to give me 6 nitrogen. And then I've got to do 3 times 3, which is 9, times 2, which is going to give me 18 oxygen. So I've got 2, again it's 26 right there. That looks kind of familiar, like the one we had up front. The next one, we've got strontium. There's 1 of those. plus the 2 that's out here goes to everything on the inside here. So I have 2 hydrogen, plus I have 2 carbon, plus I have 6 oxygen, because 2 times 3 is 6. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 6 is going to give me 11. All right, so let's look at the next one. I have 2 sodium plus, this is just a 1, so I have 1 nitrogen plus 1 times 3 is 3 oxygen. So that's going to give me a total of 6 atoms. I have 3 times 1 is 3 coppers, plus 3 times 2 is 6 fluorine, which is 9. All right, I have 6 lithium, plus I also have 6 oxygen, because that goes all the way through. So that's going to give me a 12. All right, 1 and 1, I actually have 1 iron plus 1 sulfur, which is 2 atoms total. All right, so that's practice 2. If you'd like to watch practice 3, you can keep going. If not, you can turn it off now and maybe come get your quiz. All right, practice 3 on the back. I'm going to go through just looking at the molecules. 3, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, and 5 from the coefficients. My ratio, looking at subscripts, 2 to 1. This one right here, we're going to leave this out because this is a sugar molecule. It really is a 6 to 12 to 6, so we can do that. I won't have any like that on your quizzes, but this is a 1 to 2, this is a 2 to 1, this is a 1 to 2, this is a 1 to 1, this is a 3 to 2, this is a 1 to 1. This one, looking just at the outside there, 1 to 2, this is a 2 to 3. All right, so let's count our atoms and get our totals. So I have 6 sodium plus 3 sulfur, which is 9. This one I have 6 carbon plus 12 hydrogen plus 6 oxygen, which is going to give me 24. This one I have 1 carbon plus 2 oxygen, which is going to give me 3. In this case I have 4 plus 2 is equal to, that's 4 hydrogen, 2 oxygen, which is going to give me 6. This case I have 2 copper plus 4 iodine, which is going to give me 6. This case I have 3 potassium plus 3 iodine, which is going to give me 6. This case I have 6 calcium plus 4 sulfurs, which is going to give me 10. I have 1 aluminum plus 1 nitrogen, which is going to give me 2. This case I have 2 calciums plus 4 sulfurs plus, that's 2 times 4, which is 8, and 8 times 2, which is 16 oxygens there. So that's going to give me a total of 22. All right, this one here, 5 times 2 is 10 sodiums plus 3 times 5, which is going to give me 15 nitrogens. And then 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 5 is 30 oxygens. So I'm going to add these together, and this is going to give me 30, 40, 55. 55 atoms total. All right, and let's do set 4 if you want to. Should be coming pros at this by now. Let's look here. Molecules, just looking at my coefficients. 3, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2. Easy breezy. Set ratio, 1 to 2. 6, 12, 6, 1 to 2, 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 2 to 3, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. All right, looking at my subscripts. Now I can count atoms. I have 3 beryllium plus 6 chlorine, which is going to give me 9. All right, in this case I have 2 times 6, which is 12 carbon, plus 2 times 12, which is 24 hydrogen, plus 2 times 6, which is 12 oxygen. So 24 and 24 is 48 total atoms there. All right, this case I have 1 carbon plus 2 oxygen. That's a total of 3. 3 times 1 is I have 3 radiums plus 6 chlorine, which is going to give me 9. I have 1 francium plus 2 iodine, which is going to give me 3. I have 4 times 1, which is 4 potassium plus 8 bromine, which is going to give me 12. I have 3 calcium plus 6 fluorine, which is going to give me 9. I have 8 silvers plus 12 fluorines, which is going to give me 20. I have 3 lithium plus 6 oxygen, which is going to give me 9. And I have 2 irons plus 4 sulfurs, which is going to give me 6. All right. If you have questions still, if I have lost you in any of this along the way, please, please, please get another practice sheet. Please, please, please call me over to your table or come see me, and we will discuss each one of these that you're having issues with. If we need to draw out the models, that is very, very easy to do. So if you're ready for your quiz, though, you can come up and see me for your quiz. All right. All right. Y'all have a good day.